What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a video all about the tackle, the equipment that I use to get a good check at Lake Travis in the Stage 2 BPT event down there in Texas, and how I caught all my fish during the event. It was a really cool event. I'm going to be doing a video kind of breaking down that entire event and getting into a little bit more detail as far as the strategy goes for Travis. So keep an eye out for that, but this video is all about the tackle that I used. So let's dive right into it. Really, the first thing I need to mention is I had 3 different patterns going on Lake Travis. The first thing that I really found out was that, you know, it was hard to beat a Ned Rig out there. You know, fishing bluff banks, you know, real steep banks with big chunky boulders, chunk rock. That's what I was looking for. Anything that created a lot of shade was a perfect place to throw the Ned Rig, and there was just thousands of fish out there on these bluff walls. I mean, you could go out and catch 100 fish a day, no problem, if you're just kind of beating the bank with a Ned Rig. And then I also found a marina pattern, and really it wasn't a pattern, it was one marina that ended up carrying me through a lot of the tournament. I knew during practice, I mean, I made a waypoint on my graph on my Lowrance that said the juice, because I knew that particular marina was just full of fish. I used my side imaging to kind of idle down the break wall, and there was just hundreds of fish down there. And not only that, but I ended up catching a 2-pounder on a 1.25 ounce jackhammer chatterbait during practice, and there was like 20 other keepers that came up with it. So I was like, this is the juice. So I had that marina going on. And then I also found a shallow water area. You know, I wanted to find some area that I felt really comfortable, because Travis in general being so deep and clear, I mean, you could see down 15, 20 feet in some of these areas. That's not necessarily my wheelhouse, so I wanted to find an area that I could do some shallow water power fishing and kind of get into my own little groove. So found a shallow area kind of up the river, had a little bit dirtier water, and it had really dirty water by the end of the event, but of course I'll go into that in that other video, that tournament breakdown video that I'm going to be doing. Alright, so let's dive right into it. Let's start with the Ned Rig and that kind of pattern. Essentially, I was just using a real basic Ned Rig, okay? So I was using the 1/6 ounce, I believe. I actually used the 1/5 and the 1/6. You know, I was really just trying to use a heavier finesse shrooms jig head to get down there a lot faster and get a reaction bite from those fish as it was falling down those steep bluffs. I mean, because I was also fishing, you know, as soon as it would hit the bottom, it'd be in like 30 feet of water. So I wanted to get there really quick. So I used that finesse shrooms jig head, heavier weight, and I used the just finesse TRD, man. I'm a big fan of just the original finesse TRD, and that new money color just looks so money in that really clear greenish tint water in Travis. So that was a rig that just caught hundreds of fish. I mean, I probably caught 250 fish. If you include practice, I definitely caught upwards of 300 fish during the event on this rig right here, because it just catches a ton of fish. And I ended up pairing that with a variety of different line sizes. I was using, of course, I used my normal Seagar Smackdown 20-pound braid as my main line on my spinning gear, but I also used either 8, 10, or even 12-pound test Seagar Gold Label, depending on the type of areas that I was throwing it at. The Seagar Gold Label, the great thing about it is the fact that it's super small diameter per pound test, so I can really downsize the diameter while still upsizing the line pound test, which is really important when you're fishing around zebra mussels, which Travis has a ton of. So a lot of situations, you know, if I was in ultra clear water and I really wasn't worried about the zebra mussels as much, and I was just strictly fishing boulders or bluff walls, the 8-pound test did extremely well. And if I was fishing around, you know, closer to docks and marinas and things like that, where cables came into play, that's when I'd use 10 or 12 pound test gold label as my leader. So, and then the rod that I use for this is my favorite Ned Rig rod. This is the Fitzgerald Versa Series 610 medium heavy spinning reel, or spinning rod, and then the S4000 Stunner spinning reel. I really like the S4000 over the S3000. I really think that the S4000 isn't that much bigger, so it's my favorite overall size spinning reel. But that is the Ned Rig that I use. That's a setup that I use for the Ned Rig throughout the event. Again, it caught a lot of fish. I caught a lot of my keepers with that, especially the first day. The first day I started out with the Ned Rig and was fishing those bluff walls, and then later transitioned to the marina. And in the marina, where I spent a lot of my time during the event, I used a Wacky Rig. So a very similar spinning gear. I was either using the 610 medium heavy Versa or the 7.2 medium heavy Versa. The 7.2, when I was fishing the boat slips, was really important because it gave me extra leverage to get those fish out and moving away from those cross braces, which was really frustrating the first day. And overall, you know, same reel, and really the line choices are a little bit narrowed down. So I used either 10 pound test or 12 pound test strictly, and I ended up, by the end of the first day and the beginning of the second day, I pretty much only used 12 pound test gold label because there's so many zebra mussels. I mean, everybody in this event was breaking off because of zebra mussels. It's just impossible to get through it without damaging your line in some form or fashion. And that 12 pound gold label is tough as nails and really allowed me to horse those fish away from those boat slips and ultimately get them in the boat. I didn't lose any fish to line breaks after I made that adjustment to go into the larger size of the gold label, and I still feel like I got as many bites. So that was a really big deal. So I was using the #1 size Hayabusa 962. That's a great Wacky Rig hook. This one's the weedless version. I use that quite a bit, and I use the traditional version as well. I used, you know, a stick bait for that, like the Z-Man Zinkers there. And used just a very slow presentation to catch those fish around those marina docks, and ended up also fishing the outside, the break wall of the marina, and that became a big player to catch fish where you didn't have to worry about the boat slips and all those cross braces and cables and stuff. So that was a big player for me all week. But there was one thing that really did play a huge role in kind of moving the momentum in the right direction for this event, and that was my shallow water areas. So I found this area up a creek, had dirtier water, especially with all the rain runoff we had, and I knew that I could power fish my way into some good keepers there. There seemed to be a good average size there, and essentially I was catching all of them off docks. I think I caught one fish just kind of fishing around, but for the most part they were all off docks. When I was presented with slightly dirtier water, that's when I threw the swim jig right here. 3/8 ounce Z-Man snakehead swim jig with the new Goat Pearl trailer. So Pearl Goat on the back of that. That's one of my favorite trailers for a swim jig nowadays. Just a really good combination. I used 20 pound tests, Seagar Abrazex on this one, and part of the reason was because the first day having some struggles getting those fish away from those boat docks and the zebra mussels. I wanted to go to a bait that I could use a heavy pound test and just get every single fish in the boat. And with this, you know, I was able to get fish in the boat that I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it with lighter lines. So made for some really good momentum that second day. And I really attribute the swim jig and the chatterbait I'm going to show you to doing well in this event overall. So I fished this, aside from the line, we've got a 7.3 medium heavy Versa Series rod, and then also a high speed gear ratio. I think this one's a 7.2 to 1, a VLD10 a casting reel from Fitzgerald. Worked really well, just covering a lot of water, hitting as many docks as possible, and catching those fish that were feeding on shad. And again, in that dirty water, if it got even dirtier, you know, to where I didn't feel like the swim jig was creating enough vibration and I wanted to pull those fish away from the docks, that's when I switched to the jackhammer chatterbait. 3/8 ounce jackhammer. I was skipping this around docks and just, you know, trying to get it into every little crevice around those docks as possible. Same line setup, a different trailer on it. I used the either Pearl or Pearl Blue Glimmer, a Diesel Minnows, the 4-inch version, and just kind of casted that around the docks. And I used a slightly shorter rod for this one. This is a 7-foot medium heavy Versa Series, and the only reason for that is just to make more accurate casts around those docks. So that's the rig that I use for that. And man, it's just, it felt so good after the first day fishing, you know, fishing all the finesse tactics. It felt good getting back to my roots, which is shallow water power fishing. And so the swim jig and the chatterbait really did create a good, you know, feeling of momentum in that second day that I think really set me up for doing well. All right, guys, so that is all the tackle that I used for Lake Travis. If you're going to visit Lake Travis, let me tell you right now, if you're looking to just go catch a bunch of fish, catch some of those beautiful Guadalupe bass they have in there, which I weighed 2 of them in, actually. I had 2 that were over 1.5 pounds, which was pretty cool, and a load of largemouth. Go fish that Ned Rig, man. Go pick up a Ned Rig. Go to a bluff bank that you can find on your Navionics app or your map card, and just throw a Ned Rig on those bluff banks, and you'll catch a boatload of fish. It was a really cool lake to just be able to go down the bank and catch fish after fish. I would say that it was probably, you know, the first day it was like once I got on a bank that really made sense to me and was kind of what I was looking for, it'd be like every third cast I'd catch a fish. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun. And so if you're looking to go to Lake Travis, maybe go out with, you know, a child or with your wife or something, and just go catch fish, man, pick up the Ned Rig, finesse Shrimps jig head, and that new money color. That's all you need. But anyways, guys, I really appreciate all the support this week. Make sure you check out 44tackle.com for all of the tackle that I just laid out here. They've got it all in stock. They've got it ready to go. So if you're looking for any tackle, make sure you give them a shout. They've got free shipping for orders over $35. So they are ready to get you stocked up. But anyways, guys, thanks for all the support this week. The BPT was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the next Pro Circuit event. Thank you, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'll see you out on the water. Take care.